Hey, what's up, family? How you doing? King Nick Anthony. Welcome you guys back to the swamp. Today's topic is gonna be something that I know some females y'all might not want to hear, but the truth got to be told. All right, the truth has got to be told. It has to be said because it seems like a lot of y'all just can't get it through your heads. Now, before I dive into what it is I'm talking about when I say that, I'd like to thank the people at Ada Media for setting up this show, uh, making sure that everything's running okay, flowing smoothly, with having Welcome to the Swamp being present to you guys. Um, and if you want to get in touch with everything that they're doing, you can check out past episodes of the Swamp and other things. That's helpful. If you want to live a more vegetarian, more helpful lifestyle, more spiritual lifestyle, more grounded, more African connected lifestyle, you can check out everything what they're doing at www.adanzigmedia.wordpress.com. There's a lot of helpful information on there and other blogs and videos that really dig into having a more helpful living, you know? You can also check out past episodes of archives at www.blogtalkradio.com/@media. Like us as friends at www.facebook.com/@media. And you can see everything what I'm doing. You can want to get direct in touch with me, King Nick Anthony. You can check out everything that I'm doing. You can get my book, Dragonflies in the Swamp, at www.pipnpens.com. www.pipnpens.com. That's PIP as in Gladys Knight and the Pips. P as in Paul. I as in incentive. P as in Paul. N as in Nancy. PENS as in I have two pens. Pipnpens.com. All right. You can also get in touch with me at on Facebook. Just type in King Nick Anthony, and you'll see the logo for Pipnpens Publishing. But that's not necessarily the logo, but that's what I use for promo reasons. The logo should be done and ready to go. And you can also check out quotes and things from my book on my fan page at Dragonflies in the Swamp. All right, so just type in facebook.com/Dragonflies in the Swamp and thumbs up the page. Check out the quotes along with certain memes that go with what it is I'm saying, and enjoy the work. And if you really enjoy the quotes that I put up there, go ahead and buy a copy. All right. Because by you buying a copy and signing up to our newsletter, that's right, we have a newsletter. If you sign up go to pipnpens.com, sign up to the newsletter, along with you buying a product or ordering a service from us, be it a ghostwriter gig or editing service, or if you need book consulting work, by you being a customer of ours and being part of the newsletter, you'll be eligible for not only 2 free ebooks every month. That's right, with the newsletter you get 2 free ebooks every month. The works are public domain, but they're classics. And along with the free ebooks, you also become eligible, but you have to be signed to the newsletter and as a customer. You're also eligible for gift giveaways. There's ones coming up that we're going to have for Christmas, and contests that I'm going to have in the future. That's right. So you not only have that, and we put you on your birthday gift list. Yes, that's right. We put you on the birthday gift list, where when your birthday comes, not only do you get a Hallmark card, but we give you a gift card as well, a $5 to $10 gift card. Who knows? All right. Just know that we hook you up for your birthday, just by you being a customer. Our way of saying thank you. All right. Now, with all of that being said, let's dive into the information at hand. Now, from some of you guys that see what the advertisement, you see Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose. You heard this situation. You know, the rumor has it that Wiz Khalifa was smashing two twins at the same damn time. That's right. He couldn't just cheat on Amber with one woman. It's reported that not only did he have one, but he had twins in the bed at the same time. I know, right? I mean, I know some people are like, "How could he?" Come on, really? You and some people are talking trash about the twins, saying that they don't really look all that cute. They barely sevens in the face, this, that, and the third, and talking all kinds of trash about the girls. And I ain't gonna lie, they not that fly. I've seen some of the photos or whatever, and they kind of do have a point. Like the twins, if allegedly the ones that they say Wiz was with, you know, they okay in the face. I'd give them maybe like a low 6.9, a 6.9 or a 7 barely, But bottom line, that's the rumor, and some people say that he shouldn't be doing that, he shouldn't be cheating, this, that, and the third, and then you hear about other females, they saying the same thing when it comes down to celebrities. And I'm only using Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose as a start off point, because there've been other celebrities that's been caught up in their mess. The Tiger Woods debacle that happened a few years ago, and a few other guys of power that Arnold Schwarzenegger got caught dipping his hand in the in the maid's cookie jar for a long time or whatever, and a lot of people are like, why would they do that? They have such beautiful women, this, that, and the third. How could they do that? All right. See, with Arnold or whatever, the woman he was married to, she had money. She came from money or whatever. So, and she wasn't that bad to look at. So you kind of got to scratch your head on that, And then you have guys that marry women who really don't bring much to the table. Like with Amber Rose, yeah, she's she's a good 8. I classify her as an 8 or whatever, 8, 8.5, 8.8, something like that. I give her a high 8, and she has a bit of an exotic look to her, but what does she bring to the table? What resources does she bring to the table? And with Tiger Woods' wife, they say that she was a nanny. She looked, she was kind of pretty or whatever. But what did she bring to the table except how to change a diaper? So you really got to sit there and think. And I'm not saying that it's because they didn't bring nothing to the table where the guy might have stepped out. But you have to keep in mind, these are men of power, men of prestige, men of fame, fortune, or what have you. People that are artists like Wiz Khalifa who make some kind of money, because Wiz did make the Forbes list or whatever in the top highest rappers in the country. And you have people such as him, people that are politicians that have some kind of money in their pocket, rulers of countries, they have money in their pocket. Guys who are CEOs of companies, shoot, I mean, it don't even have to be a Fortune 500 company and he's a boss somewhere up there or whatever. It could be somebody that has a small business that's thriving, that's making a certain amount every year, and the guy could take care of his business or whatever, and he might have stepped out, have one or two chicks somewhere or whatever, Because in all honesty, right? I mean, you got normal guys that step out and have a side piece or a mistress, or if you're in a polygamous situation, have different consorts, and consorts, concubines, and maid servants, if things of that nature, if they're in that life. But bottom line, with most men that's worth their weight in gold, well, they're kind of gonna look around. That doesn't mean that they don't love their woman any less, but they're kind of gonna look around. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just within our DNA to do such a thing. So why are people surprised at this? Oh, how can he do that? He shouldn't be. Man, look, y'all caught up in the belief of the fairy tale of one woman, one man, and y'all live forever, happily ever after. You know, I mean, some people actually make that work, but I've only seen a small percentage out of my whole life. I've only seen like maybe two people actually be about that life, be about that monogamous life. I've only seen like one or two maybe. You know, so how could you expect for that little small percentage to be applied to the whole country? I mean, there's different strokes for different folks. So how can you sit there and do such a thing? It's idiotic to think that. Now, when you apply that to people, to men of power, prestige, people who are well known, famous, got money, got clout, you know, these guys, right? Let me break it down to you. Let me break it down to you, right? See, these guys, before they came up, before they were, I mean, some of them probably was born into money or whatever, or had a bunch of resources at their disposal or whatever. But plenty of us that come from humble beginnings or what have you, a lot of us, I can talk right now on me, but a lot of us right now that are striving for something, on that, we're on the cusp of that next step. We just got to keep pushing forward. Or those who found their calling years ahead of time, while coming up, while figuring our way out, we sitting there looking at like the, Sports Illustrated cover, for us brothers around the way, Black Enterprise, not Black Enterprise, Black Men Magazine, Showgirl Magazine. We looking at some of these video vixens. We looking at Jet Beauty of the Week. We seeing all these hot chicks or whatever, and females in beauty pageants and chicks that pin up girls and stuff like that. Playboy bunnies and such, penthouse pets and such. And we seeing all this, right? We seeing all this fineness that we want to get at, that we want to holler at. That we, some of us be like, I swear, man, I want to holler at. I understand Megan Good married, I understand that, but like when she was single, brothers would be like, oh man, I want to try to get at Megan Good, boy. If I had a chance, this. We looking at females like that, saying that what we want, and some of us we daydream about it and all that, about the kind of females that we want to be around, right? So we working, we grinding. You know what I mean? Working and grinding. Getting on moves, shaking hands, kissing babies, politicking. And then finally, bam, you touch status somewhere. You get that dream job you always wanted. You get that contract that you always wanted. You get that you get that sponsorship that you always needed. And finally everything's clicking for you. Everything's working. Money's coming your way, clout's getting out, your name's getting out there, you're respected whenever you go somewhere, right? And then finally it gets to the point where it's an option to holler at a bad female, Keep in mind, these are females that, since the kid hit puberty and then their adult life, depending upon how soon they touch status or find a way to where they're successful at something, to where, they can go out, pay bills, and stack money, get a crib, stuff like that or whatever, take some of that money, invest it in other things, and then grow or what have you, right? All that time while they were putting it together when they were broke, just getting by, barely scraping, you know, they thinking about this, and then they finally have that option. Finally have that option to get at a female that they always wanted, right? Okay, you holler at one chick, next thing you know, this other one that's bad, she hollering at you. So now you got two bad chicks on your phone, and then you run across another female that might have heard about you, or you see her and then you flirting with her, and then you tell her what you do, and then becomes interested. Now all of a sudden, it's hard for you to say no to this third one that's cute. So you get her number, and then some of them, right? You just trying to do business. Like you see that, okay? Like in my situation, me, I work on. I just got started a few months ago as a ghostwriter and as an author. And so far, it's been coming together pretty slowly but surely. You know, I'm getting a bit more ghostwriter gigs coming along. I mean, it's to the point now where I got my website going, and and I have a few upgrades or whatever, and I'm definitely going out to stack onto it because now more and more people in on college campuses, like the professors and such, they're requesting my book. So now I have more places to go. You see what I'm saying? I'm coming up bit by bit now, and because of that, I'll come across a female and be like, oh, I read your book for my class. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You can also hire me as a ghostwriter. All right, bet. I'll give them my card. Next thing you know, like that, she'll hit me up and like, hey, how you doing? I'm keeping it strictly business because I got my mind on my money, money on my mind. You know what I mean? But then all of a sudden the conversation gets into what is it you do? What is it you like? This, that, and third. What's your favorite books? And then all of a sudden a conversation gets kicked up. Now keep in mind this female probably fine as hell. The kind of females that I like, I like, I love my sisters. So, say that I'm running to a female, she has that bronze, dark bronze skin or whatever, shape something like Megan Good, or maybe, or shape like Buffy. Remember Buffy or whatever? Or shaped, the bottom line, just shaped like one of them chicks off Showgirl magazine or something like that, or King magazine or something like that. She's shaped like a female that's double XL eye candy or what have you, right? And we vibing and the conversation cool, and she knows about herself and her history and things of that nature, and we click it. Next thing we hanging out. And then a week after that, I'm probably smashing. And then I come across another female that like a poetry spot. We click and we getting along, we vibing, and then the same thing happens all over again. And these are the kind of females that I always wanted, but because they heard about my work or they respect what it is I'm doing, boom. Next thing you know, I'm digging and I'm vibing with them. You see what I'm saying? Now just picture a dude who's earned all that clout, where everybody pretty much knows their name wherever they go. They're probably a household name, if not damn near a household name. And, they might have a wife. They might try to resist. They'll be like, okay, I'm going to just chill. Next thing you know, they come across, like, different females, different cities. And eventually, they gon' run into somebody who they think cute. And then that person who they think cute, they gon' get to vibing with them. And then next thing you know, one thing leads to another. They going out for drinks, and then they just hanging out. Next thing you know, boom, they waking up the next morning. As we slept the night away. You feel me? So, bottom line, men that are of prestige and power, it doesn't really make any sense to get angry at them. It doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, you might find one or two who, oddly enough, might stay faithful or whatever. But trust me, if you're gonna be attracted to more than one person out there, especially if you're a dude. It's hard out here for us, man. So when I hear about guys, how could he do this? His wife was a model, this, that, and the third. I'm like, yeah, and he probably was running through more models than that before they met. You know, about a week ago, right? There was this a documentary of some kind, and they were talking about the Kennedys. In fact, I'm not sure if it was about John JFK or Jacqueline Onassis, but they were talking about like when they first met and stuff like that. She respected how he was a man of prestige and how he had goals and was very intelligent, very bright man or whatever. You know, real poised, real focused on what it is he's doing. You know, and some people thought that by him being married to somebody like Jackie O, that he'd slow down, he would chill, cause JFK and his brother Bobby, they were running through females like it wasn't nothing. You know what I mean? Playboy bunnies, they were smashing them. You know, pin-up girls, they were running through them. Models in Milan, oh yeah, come on now. They were international pimping with this, you know, from what I understand. From that's just what I got from that documentary, right? And they thought that some people thought by him getting married to Jackie O, he'd fall back from all that. Nope. Still, you know, he probably stayed faithful for a while. You know, tried to do the right thing for a while. You know, promised to stay monogamous. He tried, and eventually, no. He just couldn't do it or whatever, you know. But they stayed cordial. They stayed friends because, I guess, because of his demeanor, how he carried himself, and he was such a cool dude that, you know, Jackie O, and plus he became president. She was like, you know what? I'm gonna save face. I'm gonna take this L. I'll take this L. You know, sign off to the game, but I'm gonna keep these spoils going because it ain't like he's the night manager at Popeyes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That this the president of the United States. You know, not to mention the fact JFK came from a rich, powerful family who came up in some ways or whatever. You know, we all heard, those of us who do some reading, we all heard the stories on how the Kennedys and the Brockmans came up. You know, we've heard stories and fables, but bottom line, they came up. You know, they were considered old money by the time JFK came. Oh, look, yeah, you have to be 3 generations in to be considered old money. Grandparents, parents, and then yeah. So he was considered part of like the old money crowd, you know. So he kind of came, you know, had some prestige. So it wasn't like he was just some bum. So to save face, she just kept her mouth shut, waved, and kept it pushing, you know. When Bill Clinton, when he got caught up, what happened? What happened? Hillary, she could have left, but she took that L, charged it to the game, and said, you know what? He a good dude. I mean, in fact, from what I understand, their net worth as a couple is over $100 million. See what I'm saying? It ain't like she was, you know, married to the supervisor at a warehouse or something like that. That's sleeping with a secretary or a chick in human resources department. Nah, man. You know, this president of the United States. So play your position, charge it to the game, and learn how to live together and prosper. You see what I mean? But bottom line, most dudes with power, clout, growing up, certain type of female, not certain females specifically, but certain types of females, these were who they were looking at, you know? Be it a model, a pin-up girl, an actress, a singer of some kind, you know? So the minute they had a chance, they jumped on it. So when people be like, "Oh, I sympathize for Amber. How could he do this? How could it?" Like, no, it's just within our DNA to go after TNA. And the minute a lot of females get inside their head, it'll make it a lot easier for them in the long run. Yeah, so when we get back from the commercial break, I'm really going to dig into a few things, especially with this divorce situation. Because now that I put out there the factors of how men think in terms of, like, you know, male and female relations, especially when it's a person with power and clout, you know, who's out and about, who's meeting different and new people, interesting people, and then he's going to come across people that he's attracted to. Now that I pretty much broke all that down, when we get back, I'm going to get into how, like, this divorce stuff works and how silly it is, you know? Because with Wiz Khalifa and Amber Rose, they got married, they hooked up pretty quickly, got married pretty quickly, now they're divorced pretty quickly. So I'm gonna really dig into that when we get back, all right? With people that got something to say, they want to chime in, throw in their 2 cents, you can hit us up at 347-989-8183. That's 347-989-8183. Just press 1, open your mouth, and drop your 2 cents, all right? Because I'm pretty sure some of y'all out there disagree with what it is I'm saying. You know, like, oh, you can stay faithful, you can do this, you can do that. Yeah, you're stuck in La La Land. That's right, I said it. Now bust a move and say something. I want you to say something. Because on the real, for real, seriously, if you can't accept how the physiology of a man works or whatever, you know, then you're not ready for real life. You just want to live in fairy tales. Okay, gonna go to a commercial break. All right. And when we get back, I'm gonna dig into how the divorce situation is gonna play out, you know? Because on the real, for real, for those of us coming up, you have to understand how the game goes in order for you not to get got.
Peace. This is City Hampton of the HSDO Lord Mission. Utilize the ancient universal powers of nature. For ages, gemstones have been an integral part of holistic healing. With their unique molecular structures, they possess the ability to emit healing energies that tune the mind, body, and spirit. Gemstone therapy is a subtle and effective way to help introduce new and positive energies into your life. Gemini Creations gemstone consultations are a unique and an effective way to calculate the best gemstones for you based on your personal life experiences and astrological information. These consultations help to provide you with a comprehensive understanding of the gemstones that work best for your energy. With your gemstone consultation, you will receive a gemstone consultation report comprising of a list of recommended gemstones, as well as a complimentary free natal chart. Gemini Creations also provides custom-created amulets, gemstone elixirs, gemstone jewelry, and a variety of gemstone formations. To learn more about Gemini Creations, visit us on www.geminicreations.newshop.com. Spelled GEMINEYE creations.NUWSHOP.com. And like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Gemini Creations. Peace and blessings.
This is what we're talking about here. One, you went to school to become a god.
I wish Pop would come save us, cause every day I wake up, I feel like I'm asking to lose. Even if a rock is on its way up, these cops still hate us. They still think your ass is a coon. Yeah, I know these jobs don't pay up, the stocks don't weigh up, but we still know that cash is a tool. Cause if our brothers' pockets don't cake up, this Glock for all you got to make the whole thing different. Whether it's sports or rap or cocaine pitching. But fuck cocaine when the flow is propane. Cause this shit, I'ma make the whole game listen. My niggas swear to God but the whole game's missing. So why you motherfuckers ain't listening? Bitch nigga move, cause you niggas is in my way now. This is my day now, so these niggas can't smile. I'm trying to give the game a fucking nervous breakdown. So all these niggas wanna hate now. Well if you gon' act like a bitch, say your city ain't some shit. Jump off a bridge and eat a dick on the way down. Please, I gotta win, ain't nothing to lose here. So drop out, happy fucking New Year. Mazel tov, bitch.
Before I roll out, inside the black flag, got my chrome out, and then I zone out.
Zone out, zone out, zone out, zone out, zone out, zone out, zone out. No fear, nigga, no doubt, no doubt. Golden, nigga, show out, I'ma zone out, 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 zone out.
From the guns to the roses, the game is a bitch. I'ma put it in the pelvis. Surrounded by all these white women, kinda like a selfish Elvis. Higher than sniffing on a belt tip. My style still popping. Somebody better tell Fritz I do it very hugely. On that DL tip, toe to the green, rolling like a Celtic, smacking every shark like a whale spinning. It gets deeper than the well gets, sicker than the well gets. There is no cure for my ailment, none. If I ain't fucking with you, then y'all money won't come. If I ain't running with you, then y'all niggas better run. Yeah, they say he might be X, but he ain't fat, Joe, no pun. Please, I'ma go out in the blaze, claiming that trade 8-0, then I'ma hand down to my son.
Come on. There we go. 305. 305.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, welcome to the swamp. Hello?
Yo.
Yo, I'm here.
What's up, dude?
Hey, what's happening, man? You got a question?
I just wanted to chime in, I guess, you know what I mean? Pretty much on the topic, about the Amber and Wiz Khalifa situation. I was hearing what you were saying pretty much about, hello?
Yeah, I'm here, man, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, no, I was hearing what you were saying about, you know, a man being in a position of power and, you know, he's going to pretty much ultimately succumb to his physiology over time because, you know, he's a man and, you know, it's in man's nature to ultimately, I guess, reproduce. But I think that's just a human thing because you have, you know, females in positions of power who feel like they're too good to settle down or that they'll never ever find a mate. And, you know, I think it's more of a mutual thing, like both man and woman have to come upon a realization once they enter a marriage that, you know, that's what they want. And if that's not what they want, they should never ever settle down to do so.
Exactly. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. We have another caller coming in, throwing in their 2 cents. 323.
Well, what's up? Good show so far.
Very
all right.
My main comment is very, very simple. And that is, I think a lot of marriages these days are more focused on the wedding than the actual marriage. Like the cost of marriages have gone up exorbitantly because they want to be the, you know, storybook wedding, but there's been barely any time spent on the marriage. So people are wondering why they're falling apart because, you know, this case is a perfect example. They barely got together. They got shacked up. Hey, let's fall in love, let's get married. And then they realize, oh, wait a minute, we're not compatible with each other. And it's sort of that instant gratification that's going down. That we as humans can, you know, we want to be satisfied just as quickly as we get it. And, you know, this is just a, you know, perfect microcosm. You know, yeah, she's got a nice smile, you know, fake eyebrows, that's probably why she looks exotic, but for the most part, what's going on there? I don't see much other than, okay, she looks cute. And that can be easily replaceable. I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, new hot chick turns 18 every day, man.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. There's a new one born, a new one coming in every second. So that's what it all boils down to. It's like, there's really very little thought nowadays to the actual relationship. It's more about, again, just the instant instant gratification, but not really getting to know each other. And that's, I think, critical if you want to make a marriage or just any type of long-term relationship survive. You have to know what each other's roles are. You have to have that respect. You got to really understand each other before you can take that next step to really commit for something long-term. And that's what's missing. That's what's, even if it's in a polyamorous relationship, you still got to have that trust. You still got to talk. You still got to communicate. So it's no different if it's monogamous or polyamorous. You still have to talk. You still got to trust each other. You still got to respect one another. Without that, you have nothing. You just be at war every time. So
exactly.
Just putting in my 2 cents from the 323. So.
All right, thanks 323 for calling in, dropping your 2 cents. And 305, if you're still listening, man, thank you for dropping in, saying what you had to say. All right. Now, with what I was saying before, or what have you, right, with the divorce situation. See, in this country, it's no secret that the divorce rates are just through the roof. I mean, what was it, 20 years ago? 20 years ago, back when I was in middle school or something like that, or whatever, it was a report saying that I vaguely remember it. Oh, and the report said that marriages were on the rise, and divorce rates were on the rise. It was up by 38%, something like that, right? And then 10 years ago, read a report that was saying that marriage went up and divorces went up to 45% or something crazy like that. Then around 2012, another report that I read saying that divorce rates have gone up from 54% to the 60s. And I'm sitting here flabbergasted. I'm shocked. I'm like, wait, hold up, wait. Why is the divorce rates going up, Now, there's different reasons for divorce, but one of the majority reasons is finances. That was the number one cause for a lot of marriages getting destroyed, finances, and then infidelity somewhere down the line, but point blank, financial reasons, And with divorce, some chicks, they play the game or whatever, They try to get the best divorce lawyers, take you to court, want to have take half your stuff, even though they ain't really work for it. Like if it's a ball player, want to take half of your stuff, but you ain't help him shoot one jump shot on that court. Want to take, like with Michael Strahan, ex-wife or whatever, she wanted, they had, I think, 4 houses. She wanted to get 3 out of those 4 houses, walk away with $15 million, the car, the kids, get paid spousal support and child support. She was asking so much, even the judge was like, you really asking for way too much. You know what? You're going to take this one house, this one car. He'll pay you some of that $15 million that you asking for and some spousal support for up to 10 years or something like that, and then boom, be about your business. See what I'm saying? See, a lot of y'all, man, if those of us on the come up, right? And this is where I tip my hat off to Wiz Khalifa. Yeah, Amber Rose, she can stand to walk away with a cool $1 million, right? She can stand to walk away with a cool $1 million, maybe some child support, and a few other things, a car or something like that, right? But there's a but to it in the prenup. She can either A, walk away with the money, or B, from what I understand, get some of that money and be paid spousal support. See, Amber, she wants to get spousal support, custody of the kids, and the $1 million or whatever. But the thing is, it's either one or the other. It's either she get the cool meal or she gets the support. You understand what I'm saying? She can't have both at the same time. And that part I can kind of I can kind of respect, because I'm like, at least he was smart enough to have a sign a prenup and put special clauses in there to where he won't necessarily get hurt. Yeah, he might lose a cool million. He might have to pay child support. All right, cool. So be it. But at least the brother could walk away with, he ain't walking away with half his stuff taken away, as if she helped him put out all the mixtapes. You know what I mean? As if she got, because Wiz Khalifa, he's been grinding since I paid attention to his career. He's been grinding since he was like 15 years old. Pretty much got his first deal at 17. You know, and been independent under independent labels ever since. Like, there's some major label implications, of course, because you see your stuff's all over the radio and things of that nature. But bottom line, the kid's been grinding since he was yay high, you know. And for her to come around and have her hand out talking about, oh, I want $1 million and spousal support, you need to get your bald headed ass from around here. You know what I mean? You better take some of that money, get some investors or whatever, get some investment advice, get into real estate and build your own little empire instead of around here, sack chasing this man or whatever, trying to shake his pockets down. Another person who I respect in terms of divorce that was smart enough to get prenups is Donald Trump. I mean, as silly as he may be in terms of seeing how race relations work in this country, I can respect how he has his prenup set up. Looks like I believe it's another caller from the 323. Let me put them on, see what they got to say. Running
called
slow
earlier.
All right.
Okay.
Hello?
You're on. Hey.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up the perfect part of the prenup. One movie that everyone should watch on this particular topic was done by the Coen brothers. Intolerable Cruelty. It is a funny movie talking about this very point, and just how some women and some people will just want to, get into the marriage just to make it a financial security blanket for them and not really be involved in the marriage. So something to check out. Call it a homework assignment, if you will, and I'll let you get back to the program.
All right. Intolerable Cruelty?
Intolerable Cruelty.
Is that a
movie
documentary?
With George Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. He was a big-time lawyer, and then he ended up getting got in the end.
Uh-huh. That's it.
Yeah, and they really did. Yeah, they really did drop a lot of game on how the divorce situation goes in this country. Yep. All right, man. Thanks, bro.
Now,
Thank you.
10 years ago, so no problem. Back to the business.
All right. Yeah, so you guys can check that out. Intolerable Cruelty. I saw that movie. Where George Clooney, he was a big-time divorce lawyer, and he was pretty much getting people paid all kinds of money, and he ended up getting conned. One of the cases that he won was against Catherine Zeta-Jones' character, and she held a grudge about it so much so to where she conned him into marrying her, and he got in the end pretty much, But bottom line, before you go into, if you're a man of power and prestige or you're on the come up, take the time to understand how prenups work in your city, in your state. Understand who had an ironclad clause or whatever, and get in touch with those people. I swear, man, the minute I touch status, I'm going to hit up whoever is part of Donald Trump's divorce team. That's right. The guy didn't have just one or two lawyers working on his divorces. He had a team of 5 to 7 dudes. The dude had a clique or whatever. He pretty much had a starting NBA lineup of lawyers. You think OJ had the dream team? I'll try to get in touch with one of those guys. Ask them could they draw something up for me, and then boom. See what I'm saying? You're more than likely going to have to come out your pocket for that. But shoot, if you coming up and you got the money and you want to protect your assets against somebody that you think might bust a move on you later on, hey, man, you protect your neck like Wu-Tang says, Really take the time to understand what it is you're getting into. Understand the person who you're marrying. Don't just jump right in on some weekend in Vegas crap. You know what I mean? Just really take the time to get to know somebody. Like my brother from the 323 called in and gave information on. Really take the time. Because people don't really start revealing themselves until like a good 6 months after they get comfortable with you. After that 6 months, really keep an eye on, okay, is this person really who they say they are? Like really pay attention to what it is that they did in their past life, to where you can try to get an idea of what to expect in the long run. Because if you don't pay attention to the signs, the warning signs that the person might be batshit crazy, if you don't see the warning signs that this person might just be extra money hungry and lazy as hell and just want to live off what you made, if you really don't pay attention, then you can mess around and end up losing half your fortune. Shoot, look what happened with Paul McCartney when he lost a chunk of his money. Greg Norman, who was a golf pro, he only won like a few tournaments maybe, but what made him so famous is the fact that his clothing and golf gear was world renowned, and he became a multi-millionaire off his golf gear and equipment. Greg Norman, he called himself the Shark, and his stuff sells in all kinds of golf shops all over the planet. He has some of the best equipment from what I understand. Clothing, shoes, all that. Anything in golfing, his stuff is high quality. And his wife walked away with like what, 110 million, something crazy like that. Tiger Woods' wife, she walked away with 100 million, and months after that, she spent like $10 million tearing down a mansion or something like that. See what I'm saying? So she's blowing through the money frivolously. So, but bottom line, just really understand how the game goes. Because I understand in life, people don't get married or have some sort of union just to see it dissolve or whatever. People don't get married to expect to get divorced. That's idiotic. But with how things are, you really have to protect yourself. You really have to protect yourself. Because some of it, guys, we kind of brought that on ourselves, because some dudes, like way back in the day, some dudes they pretty much left their wives and kids destitute or whatever. So I understand why certain things are in play. The child support system and spousal support. I understand why certain things are in play. Like maybe the woman was with a dude that was a top rated asshole or whatever. Cheated on her with her sister and cousin and best friend. Just slimy dude. There are some guys out there that's like that, and her friends and stuff, they slimy as hell too. If hypothetically speaking, if that were to occur, but him doing something like that, those kind of guys, all right, that's kind of messed up. So for a woman to ask for a divorce from a guy like that, all right, that's understandable. And she want to take the house and the kids and stuff like that, okay, that's kind of understandable. Hell have no fury like a woman scorned. All right, do what you do. But if it's a guy that you see this guy was chasing all kinds of females when he got his money. You see the dude was balling when he got his money. You know what I mean? And then even the women that's been there since the guy was broke or whatever, you see, you know this dude likes certain types of women, and he respects and he loves you, of course, because you've been there from the jump. You understand how he operates. So it's two things: you can either suck it up and keep it pushing, or see about that divorce or whatever, if you feel that you can't go on like that or whatever. But just know that if it wasn't for that dude coming up, where would you be? Seriously. Because some women, not all, some, SOME, meaning a certain percentage. I didn't say all. Some women, they come in with with nothing but their hand out, really, you know. So how dare you expect him to be like, okay, I ain't finna do this, I ain't finna do that, when he has so much in his face, you know? Come on, you gotta be realistic. You gotta be realistic. Well, that's all I have for today, you know? Just giving little examples on individuals out there that got hit hard. So be sure to have a prenup ready. Make sure that it's ironclad and it's clear and precise. That way, in case you do split, you can protect yourself, all right? Understand who it is that you're getting into a marriage with. See if they're bringing in some kind of assets or some kind of hustle with them. You know, like if you're a businessman and you're making all kinds of deals and stuff like that, and you have a chick, a woman, and she likes to go out, she makes her own money, she has an entrepreneurial spirit, she's a hustler. Like, perfect example, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, and his wife. His wife, she was a bit of a beauty queen, but she wasn't no airhead. She got into real estate, made some moves. She already had some investments in her portfolio and stuff like that before she met him. See what I'm saying? So she met him with some knowledge, you know, and they got together and they grew their empire together. And from what I understand in listening to some of his audio books, he said that even if his wife were to leave him, she'd be straight because she has her own real estate deals. You know, she has her own businesses that she understands how the game goes, and she's a go-getter like him, and she pushes him as he pushes her. You know, and that's the beautiful part about that situation, you know. They understand each other. They came in together, understanding each other's roles, and they played their positions to where they blew up together. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with Bill and Hillary Clinton. You know, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with Barack Obama. When he met Michelle Obama, she was his boss. When he left Harvard, not Harvard, he was out of Yale or Harvard, one of them law schools. He was driving a hoopty. If anybody that doesn't know what a hoopty is, you know, like an old raggedy car or whatever, you know, he was driving an old hoopty. She was his boss. You know, he had to like get the courage to you know, shoot game at Michelle or whatever, you know, put his little Mac down where he can get in where he could fit in. But she saw his potential. Yeah, he driving a hoopty, but he graduated from law school. He good. You know what I mean? He at the company I work at, so this is a good brother. And then boom, they maneuver through the game with each other, and lo and behold, look where he at, shining and stunting. See what I'm saying? Yeah, he might, you know, got picked behind the scenes by the electoral college and the powers that be, but yet and still he maneuvered through the sewer, like as Jay-Z put it. He maneuvered through the sewer with his girl, and they came up together. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all be sure to keep an eye out on who it is you dating, what it is they bring to the table, and understand your role as a man, you know? Because if you can't put all that together, then you're bound to be in the divorce court. You know what I mean? Better pick the right one or pick the kiddies up, as Big Boy from Outkast said in the International Players song. All right, that's all the information and things of that nature that I got to share with y'all today. You can check out this show and other archives of Welcome to the Swamp at www.blogtalkradio.com/Ada Enzik Ada Enzik, that's A as in Atlanta, T as in Tom, A as in Atlanta, or A as in Apple, E as in electric, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam, I as in India, C as in cat, media, MEDIA, you know, M as in micro, E as in electric, D as in dog, I as in India, A as in Atlanta. I really have to spell it out because some people be like, at a what? At a emic? At a anemic rate? I'm like, no, at a enzic media. All right. And if you want to check out other things that we got going, you can go to atenzicmedia.wordpress.com. Friend us on Facebook, facebook.com/atenzicmedia. And to get in touch with me personally, you can hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/King Nick Anthony, and check out my book, Dragonflies, where I created my own writing style, the anecdotal prose form. See about living in the rough sides of Miami and hanging out on the rough sides of Miami without you having to go see where First 48 films things at. You feel me? Just pick up the book, Dragonflies in the Swamp. Like the page, Dragonflies in the Swamp, at facebook.com, all right? facebook.com/Dragonflies in the Swamp. You can't miss it, all right? It looks like it's a gold bug on a green background, black letters. Just look for the book with Jamaican colors and you good, all right? Get the book at Pipnpens.com. That's PIP as in Gladys Knight and the Pips, N as in Nancy, Pens, and I have 2 pens, all right? Check it out, get the book, check the archives, and I'll holler at you later. Peace.